Hey guys, welcome back to the video. I'm sorry that I got cut off before, okay? So I'm going to get straight into it because it's getting a bit late, okay? So now I have a calculator with me, okay? I'm going to calculate it. If I put t equals to 80 in this, why is it like that? That's wrong. So that's 0.02 pi 80 squared plus 0.4 pi. Okay, if we plug that into a calculator, we should get our rate of change is 6.28 centimeters squared per second, okay? Alright, we're going to be moving on. A function is defined by y equals to 3x cubed minus 4a squared x plus 5, where a is a positive number. Find the range of values of x in terms of a in which the function is decreasing. Once again, we need to find our gradient function, that's dy over dx. That equals to 9x squared minus 4a squared. When a function is decreasing, that means the gradient is less than 0. That means our dy over dx is less than 0, so therefore 9x squared minus 4a squared is less than 0. If I move it's in terms of x, so that becomes positive 4a squared. So x squared is less than 4a squared divided by 9. Alright, one thing to note here, okay, so for example, if you have x squared, for example, equals to 4, you will have x is both plus and minus 2. So you have two answers, and that's the exact same scenario here. So here you have x is less. So in this scenario, you'll have that x is is less than square root of 4a squared minus 9. And that actually works, this square root, that actually works out to 2a divided by 3. So x is less than 2a divided by 3. And also we have our negative value, okay? But we also have to flip the inequality, okay? Because it's negative, okay? So x is also more than negative 2a over 3. We have our positive parabola, our normal parabola, because it's a positive. 9x squared is positive, okay? That's positive. Therefore, we have our positive parabola. Our positive parabola looks like the happy face. Positive is happy, happy face. We have our we have our negative 2a over 3 here, and we have our positive 2a over 3 here. As you can see, the gradient is below 0 in between these two values. So therefore, all we have to say for our final answer is that x is in between these two values. So therefore, we say that x is less than 2a over 3, and x is more than negative 2a over 3. And getting all the way up to here, this inequality here will get you an excellence grade. To get a merit grade, you'll need to find the correct x values. So if you find these two x values, you get a merit grade. And to get an achieved grade, you're finding the correct derivative extra easy. That's only the first step. That'll get you an achieved. Alright, moving along. Question 3. The gradient function for a curve is given by dy over dx equals to 3x squared minus 5. The curve passes through the point 1, 0. Find the equation of the curve. We have our gradient function, which is given to us, and we need to find our function, which is y equals to something. We have to integrate, which is work backwards, okay? So working backwards from differentiation. Y equals 2, so that becomes 3x squared. You add 1 for power, so 2 plus 1 is 3, so you add 1 for power, and then you divide by the new power. Minus 5x, it's just 1, so that divided by 1, that's still 5x, so we don't do anything to it. This one minus 5x plus c, that's the unknown number. We don't know. We need to use this point to find c. So y equals to x cubed minus 5x plus c. And the curve passes through the point 1, 0. So substitute those numbers in to find c. So 0 equals to 1 minus 5 plus c. c therefore equals to 4. Y equals to x cubed minus 5x plus 4. And that will get you an achieved grade. Alright, moving along. Alright, Meg is riding her motocross bike. When she passes a fixed point P on the track, she has a speed v of 5 meters per second, and her acceleration is 0.6 meters per second. If she were to continue accelerating at this rate, what is her speed when she has been riding for 10 seconds after passing point P? Whew! Alright. So the first thing to note is our acceleration. Our acceleration is 0.6 meters per second, okay? And now we have our acceleration, velocity, and distance, okay? acceleration integrates to velocity, velocity integrates to distance, and vice versa. So if we differentiate distance, we get velocity, differentiate velocity, we get acceleration. We have our acceleration, okay, we need to find what our v is, okay? So v of t, we need to integrate this, okay? So that becomes 0.6 t plus c. C is unknown value, okay? But you know that she has a speed of 5 meters per second originally. That means that when t equals to 0, our v equals to 5 meters per second. So therefore, our c value must be equal to 5 meters per second. Therefore, our v of t is actually 0.6 t plus 5. And if it should continue to accelerate at this rate, after 10 seconds, what is her speed? So all we have to do is substitute our t equals to 10. So v of 10 is equal to 6 plus 5, and that equals to 11 meters per second. And that there will get you a merit grade. To get an achieved grade, you're finding the velocity time, but without the c value, that will get you an achieved. How far will she have traveled from point P when she reaches a speed of 8 meters per second? So the first thing we have to do is substitute our velocity equals to 8 to find what our time is. So how long does she take to reach a speed of 8 meters per second? And then we have to find the distance formula, and then we have to say that how far does she travel in this period of time? So we have our speed of 8 meters per second, so we substitute our v equals to 8 in order to find how long it takes her to reach that speed, okay? That's very important because we need to find how long it takes for her to reach that speed. That's the t we don't know. And when we found our distance formula, how far has she traveled in this time? Alright, hope you understand what I'm saying. So 8 equals to, we know our formula, that's this one here. So v of t equals to 0.6 t plus 5. 8 equals to 0.6 t plus 5. Move the 5 to the other side. 3 equals to 0.6 t. Therefore, t equals to 5 seconds. So therefore, the question is asking us, how far has she traveled from point P after 5 seconds? Straightforward, okay? So now we have our v of t. We have to integrate to find our d of t, okay? So that's integrate another step, okay? So our d of t, that becomes 0.6 t. You add 1 to the power and divide by the new power, plus 5t plus c. D of t equals to 0.3 t squared plus 5t plus c. So what is our c value this time? Well, you have to read the question very carefully. So she starts at point P, and the question is asking you how far from point P. So when she starts her journey, she is at point P. When t equals to 0, she is at point P. So therefore, when t equals to 0, distance equals to 0. So therefore, our c value is also just simply equal to 0. Sorry. Okay? So therefore, d of t is simply 0.3 t squared plus 5t. And we need to find how far she has traveled in 5 seconds. So all we have to do is substitute t equals to 5. And that's all we have to do. Plus 25. And that should give us our distance is 32.5 meters. And getting the correct 32.5 meters there, that'll get you an excellence grade. Okay? Excellence question there. To get a merit grade, you're looking at finding the correct time. So time equals to 10 seconds. Not 10 seconds. Time equals to 5 seconds. Okay? And you're looking at getting the correct distance formula. So that's this one here. That'll get you a merit grade. So both of these will get you a merit. Well, you need both of these, sorry, not any of one. You need both. To get achieved grade, you're looking at the antiderivative, which means the d of t without the c. D of t without the c, yeah. So getting up to that step will get you an achieved. Alright, moving along. Last question, I believe. Meg's friend Leo was riding with her, but he begins to decelerate when they reach a speed of 8 meters per second. If he decelerates at 0.2 meters per second, how far past the point P will he be when he reaches a speed of 6 meters per second? Alright, so the easy way to do this question is to consider this is the first part of the journey. They traveled 32.5 meters. That's part 1 of the journey. And part 2 of the journey we will consider as a completely new journey. We'll just say that we are starting over. We restart the stopwatch, okay? So the stopwatch goes back to t equals to 0 seconds, okay? So we're just considering it as a new journey, okay? So we have our t equals to 0 seconds, and we have our acceleration. Our acceleration is now negative 0.2. It's exactly the same step, okay? Don't get faked by the negative, okay? It's the exact same thing, okay? It's basically the exact same thing as the last question, okay? So we have our a, okay? We need to find our v of t, integrate. So v of t equals to negative 0.2 t plus c. Originally, the speed was 8 meters per second. So therefore, when our time was 0, the speed was 8. So therefore, we can say that our v of t was actually negative 0.2 t plus 8. So how far past point P will he be when he reaches a speed of 6 meters per second? How long does it take for him to reach a speed of 6 meters per second? And how far has he traveled in that time? So 6 equals to negative 0.2 t plus 8. If we move the 8 to the other side, it becomes negative 2 equals to negative 0.2 t. Therefore, you work out your t equals to 10 seconds. And it's the exact same step. You just find d of t now. D of t is just the integration again. So you add 1 to the power, and then you divide by the power, the new power, okay? So that becomes t squared divided by 2 plus 8t plus c. D of t therefore equals to negative 0.1 t squared divided by, divided by anything. Negative 0.1 t squared plus 8t plus c. Once again, our distance starting from at the start of our journey, the distance was 0. So therefore our c was 0 as well. So that just becomes 0. D of t therefore equals to negative 0.1 t squared plus 8t plus 8t, okay? And we have our time equals to 10 seconds. So all we have to do now is substitute time equals to 10 seconds to see how far he has traveled in 10 seconds. So distance of 10 equals to negative 0.1 times of 100 plus of 80. 100 times negative 0.1 is negative 10. So d of 10 is negative 10 plus 80. And that becomes equal to 70 meters, okay? But we're not done yet, okay? Because the question is asking us how far past point P will he be, okay? So we have to include the first part of the journey as well. The first part of the journey, he traveled 32.5 meters with Meg, okay? So therefore, total distance traveled is just simply 32.5 plus 70, not plus, and that equals to 102.5 meters. And there is your final answer. That'll get you an excellence grade. Remember, if you leave your answer as 70, you'll only get a merit grade, okay? It's important that you read the question and then you leave your answer what they are asking you, okay? Alright, to get another way to get the merit question, exact same as the last question, okay? You're finding your t equals to 10 seconds and you're finding your equation for distance, okay? That'll get you a merit grade. To get an achieved grade, once again, exact same thing, okay? Antiderivative found, the d without the c, okay? And therefore, that is here. That will get you an achieved. Alright, thank you for watching this video, okay? I apologize for stopping halfway through due to technical difficulties, okay? I apologize. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please give it a like. And I hope to see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. Thank you. Bye.